Hello there, PPM family, and welcome back to a Quickie podcast. This one may run a little bit longer than 3 minutes, so it's actually being done on kind of a long play type scenario versus the Quickie, okay? So whatever, but hopefully you watch this one, and remember to subscribe and like. Remember, all of our instructors are required to subscribe so you can get the newest information. Okay, with that said, first thing, been a discussion recently on one of our monitors. We request that you have a child mannequin, adult, child, and infant mannequin. And some of these companies have come out with this great idea, save you money, but really they're not. In that in the back of the adult mannequin, you can turn a switch, and now the compressions are that of for a child. Well, first of all, there's no real regulation as far as how much pressure does it take to compress a child's chest. So that is a marketing gimmick. That has nothing to do with real world. When you're pressing on the chest of a child, you're going to have to press whatever power it needs to compress the chest the proper depth of compression, 2 inches, okay, for a child. So we require you to have a child mannequin. Why? Because if you're using the adult mannequin, and now you say to your student, oh, this is now a child, what do they see? They see an adult mannequin. They just got done working on the adult mannequin. I want the student, when they look at the patient down there, that they see a child. They don't see an adult. Okay, that's the whole reason behind and what we've been doing now for well over 5 years as far as the requirement to have a child mannequin. So I don't want to see the adult mannequin with a switch. That doesn't fulfill the concept of the student seeing a child laying on the floor, okay, or a child laying on the table. The bottom line is it's got to look like what they're going to be working on. Okay, that's the whole idea behind this. So please, if you've got these mannequins that have switches on them, I don't care, use them as the adult, that works fine. But do not use them as your child mannequin. Get a child mannequin so your student can see the difference in size between the adult and the child, okay, then the infant, whatever. Okay, one of the discussions that came up recently in a Maryland meeting for MIFRE, MIMS, and that whole gang, was the fact that they're seeing a lot of basic life support students in their classes, in their EMT classes and stuff like that, that don't know how to use a bag valve mask. Well, that is one of the requirements for basic life support, is the use of a bag valve mask. Remember, we require you to have all 3 sizes, adult, child, and infant, so that your student gets a chance to play with all 3 mannequins. And making a good face seal, the EC, works great. One of the things you can actually do is put the face mask directly on a table, have them play with making a good seal, locking it onto the table, and they get used to how to press down that mask. Because all the sealing is done with these 2 fingers. The C is what actually makes the seal in that mask. The other 3 bring the head back so you get an open airway. So the bottom line is we need to make sure that when you're doing your basic life support, these students are getting a good chance to work with the BVMs and are proficient in the bag valve masks. Little sideline story here. I actually had an instructor who was performing his skills, and when he got to using the bag valve mask, he literally placed the bag valve mask, and you can't make this stuff up, over the eyes of the mannequin. And he's squeezing the bag valve mask, and at first I thought he was pulling my leg. Why would anybody put the BVM over the eyeballs of the mannequin? Anyway, he's squeezing away, and I said to him, listen, I said, I don't see the chest rising with the bag valve mask. Well, he squeezed harder. And then it dawned on me that, wait a minute, he has no clue what he's doing. So I said to him, stop, stop, stop. And I showed him head tilt, chin lift, bag over how to tilt, push down, tilt back, and ventilate and see the chest rise. And he went, oh. Well, I said, well, here's my problem. You knew how to do bag valve mask before you finished training as an instructor. You've been training people for 2 years now. It's time for renewal, and we're putting you through the skills stuff for renewal, and you got this all wrong. So the question is, how many people did you actually train incorrectly on the use of BVM, or were you even using this in your class? And so, we do our best. And one of the reasons for the monitors is to make sure the class is still going the way it's supposed to go. It's got all the things it's supposed to have in it, and it's being done correctly. We are probably one of the few training centers that really make sure that things are being done the way it's supposed to be done. No sidelines, no shortcuts, the way it's supposed to be done. Okay? And so BVM has now come up in the EMS world of basically saying that the American Heart Association instructors are not doing a good job with a bag valve mask. Okay. That means we need to make sure that we're seeing this correctly and that you're doing a good job of doing this. Remember, your students leave from your location. They may be going to hospital or they may be going EMS. The bottom line is when they finish, you sign that card, you're saying that they can do this correctly. Okay, now we all know that we see them do it correctly. They did a great job there. Doesn't mean they're doing a great job 5 minutes later. I understand that. But we want to make sure that we're pressing the point here that these students need to do more practice with the BVMs. They need to be proficient in it. Okay, not, oh, they did it one time and that's, no. They're proficient in it. Okay? Enough said about BVMs. One of the new things we're working on now is we're doing a train-the-trainer for babysitting. Okay, now we've been doing babysitting for years. We add a lot of things to our babysitting class. We do a full CPR and first aid training as well as babysitting techniques. Okay, so it's not just a 5-second class. We run into this on a regular basis from even our local community college who does a babysitting class in a couple hours. Well, what can you accomplish in a couple hours? Ours is literally a full 8 to 10 hour day, or we break it up into an hour and a half sessions every like a Thursday night, Tuesday, Thursdays, something like that to break it up a little bit better. But it is a long course, but we're doing full CPR, heart saver, adult, child, and infant total course, and then we're also doing a full first aid program for that babysitter so that they're not just, quote, how to change a diaper. We're going more into all kind of things, okay? That's going to be June the 7th at 5:30 p.m. June the 7th at 5:30 p.m. If you go to our website, okay, which is ppmcompany.store.com, click on the calendar, you'll see that date and you can sign up for it. We'll be adding some additional dates later on today, so you'll have more than just one date. Okay? But that's going to start June the 7th at 5:30. It's a train-the-trainer, and so you'll actually get your kits and everything, and 5 books and the whole thing that goes with it. So that's pretty unique. Like I said, we haven't done one for a while. And like I said, one of the problems with that was because we're in competition with outfits that say they're going to do babysitting for 2 hours and they're done. Yeah, that's not what we call a babysitting class. We want them to take care of an emergency when it comes up. Okay. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up. Again, a reminder that you are required as a trainer with our training center to have the equipment you're supposed to have. Okay. If you don't have that equipment, remember we are now using our go bags, which we're using for our instructors to go out and teach. You can actually rent a go bag. That's in there in the thing to be able to rent a go bag. You can also come in and rent a room. So if you've got a monitor coming up and you don't have the equipment or you haven't purchased your equipment yet, or if you're a brand new instructor who just finished the program and you need to do your first time class, remember you can bring your students right in here. For the new instructor for their first time class, there's no charge for this. You can come in, use our equipment, our classroom, our everything. We'll do the monitor and everything right here. No cost for you. That's all included in your instructor class. Okay? So keep that in mind because one of the problems we're running into is people are waiting so long to get the equipment. Now it's been a year, they haven't taught just not the way to do it. So we want to get you through the instructor program, have you ready to go. And like I said, you bring your people in here, do the class here, or rent the go bag, which has all the equipment to do your class. So a couple different ways to do it. Trying to make it quick and easy so that you can get this done and get your instructor program completed. Okay, as always, if you got any questions at any time, feel free to call the office. We're always here on Monday through Friday. Saturday, we're here only for our classes. So if a class is over, we go ahead and shut down for the day. Now, if you're coming to pick up something, if you let us know ahead of time, we will stay for you. We will come in for a day for you. If you can't get in till like 6 o'clock that night, 7 o'clock that night, one of us will be here, so we'll open up so you can pick up whatever you're picking up. Okay, so we're trying to do our best to support you, the student. Remember, the more students we have out there, the more people get trained in life-saving techniques. We believe in you. We believe in hands-on on the equipment doing this program. Okay? Again, thanks for watching, and thanks for being part of our training center. Please refer other training instructors to our little classes we operate. They're more than welcome to transfer to our training center. Whatever we need to do to increase our numbers, increase more people being trained. Okay? I'm Joe Becker. Thanks for watching Paramedical Personnel of Maryland.